You ever wonder why some guys consistently tag mature bucks while others just sit in a tree and hope? It's not luck. It's understanding exactly what big bucks are eating and when. And today, I'm giving you the cheat code. If you want to kill a mature buck this season, you need to be hunting the right food source at the right time. Too many hunters set up where the deer were instead of where they are. I'm about to break down the exact feeding patterns of mature bucks throughout the entire season, what they eat, when they eat it, and how you can capitalize before it's too late. This strategy has put me on more big bucks than I can count, and if you stick around, it's going to do the same for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. In the early season, bucks primarily focus on high-protein food sources to recover from the rut and prepare for the colder months ahead. Agricultural crops like soybeans and alfalfa are highly attractive during this period. The lush green foliage provides the necessary nutrients to help bucks regain body mass. Setting up trail cameras near these fields can help you pattern buck movements. Look for signs of feeding activity, such as tracks and droppings, to determine the best stand locations. One of my best early season strategies is looking for a green patch in a soybean field that's already turning yellow. If you find one, that could be a big win. As soybeans mature and turn yellow, they lose their palatability for deer. But those green patches, whether they're from late planted beans or different soil conditions, will hold deer like a magnet. Mature bucks, especially in the early season, prefer to feed on the most nutritious and easily digestible food available. If you can locate one of these green patches, set up a stand downwind and catch bucks coming in just before dark. Trail cameras can help you confirm the best entry and exit routes. Another key early season move, when those soybeans all turn and lose their attraction, start looking for the next closest green food source. Deer go green to green. If there's a lush clover patch, alfalfa field, or a well-maintained food plot near those soybeans, that's where they'll transition. One of my favorite early season food plots for this exact reason is a mix of oats, alfalfa, and radish. Oats provide that lush green forage deer love, alfalfa is high in protein and draws deer consistently, and radishes offer a high-energy food source that gets better as the season progresses. This combo keeps deer coming back throughout early fall. Now, let's talk about another early season powerhouse, standing corn. I'm a big believer in the saying, corn is king. If you have standing corn, you need to be close to it. Mature bucks love standing corn for two reasons. It provides a high-carb food source, and more importantly, it offers security cover. A big, pressured buck will bed right inside a standing cornfield, using the rows to move undetected. This is why so many early season bucks seem to disappear. They've shifted into standing corn. One thing I've learned is to pay close attention to detail. If you're hunting near an ag field but suddenly all the deer are staying back in the timber, that's a sign. White oak acorns are dropping and they're choosing those over beans or clover. If you're scouting, look for trees that are still holding acorns or that have recently dropped a fresh batch. You'll likely find deer nearby. If you find an area loaded with fresh white oak acorns, don't hesitate. Adjust your setup immediately. Move your stand into the timber, hunt that food source while it's hot, and capitalize before the deer transition to something else. During the rut, bucks are less focused on feeding and more on seeking does. However, they still need to replenish energy between bouts of activity. High-energy food sources like standing cornfields become attractive during this period. Positioning stands between bedding areas, and these food sources can intercept bucks as they move between feeding and breeding areas. In the post-rut and late season, bucks are in recovery mode, seeking to regain lost body weight. During harsh winter conditions, food becomes scarce, and deer adapt by shifting their diets to available resources. They rely on woody browse, such as twigs, buds, and bark from trees and shrubs like aspen, maple, birch, cedar, and hemlock. In areas with agricultural fields, waste grain from harvested corn and soybean fields can also attract deer during the late season. Scouting these fields for leftover grain can help identify potential hunting spots. If you've got a brassica food plot, that first frost is your go time. Bucks will shift to those plots almost immediately, so be ready to take advantage of it. Another overlooked detail? Fresh sign. Mature bucks don't always leave big obvious rubs and scrapes, but they do leave clues. Fresh deer droppings, torn up leaves, nipped off browse, all of these can tell you where a buck has been feeding recently. Pay attention to browse lines on saplings and shrubs. If you see fresh nipped off ends, you know deer are actively feeding there. This can be an indicator of an overlooked food source, especially if you're in an area without many ag fields. Now, this is where understanding your bedding areas comes into play. During the off-season, take time to scout and mark known bedding areas on your ONX maps. This will help you determine the best food source to target from each bedding area based on wind direction. If you know where a mature buck is bedding, you can figure out which food source he's likely to hit given the conditions. When scouting bedding areas, look for thick cover with multiple exit trails. These trails will give you insight into how deer are moving in and out of their beds. The key is to not pressure these areas too much during hunting season. Use what you learned in the off-season to set up in the right spots without bumping deer. Hunting mature bucks isn't about luck. It's about paying attention to the details. Whether it's fresh acorns, standing corn, overlooked browse, or changing weather patterns, every little clue can lead you to a big deer. Dial in your scouting, be adaptable, and you'll start seeing results. If you found this information helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what strategies work best for you. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there this season.